Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
James Gunn's Superman isn't a traditional origin story, but it might be something even more exciting. We already know Clark Kent is suited up, working at the Daily Planet, and known to the world when the movie begins. But here's the wild part. Everything about this setup feels eerily familiar, like we've seen it before. And maybe we have, because the more we learn about the new Superman, the more it starts to look like something very specific. The live-action Season 11 of Smallville we never got. Let's break down the parallels, the legacy, and the idea that Smallville walked so Gunn's Superman could fly. So what exactly do we know about James Gunn's Superman so far? For starters, it's not an origin story. This isn't another tale about a baby sent from Krypton or a teenager discovering his powers for the first time. Clark Kent is already Superman when the movie begins. He's living in Metropolis. He's already working at the Daily Planet. And yes, he's already in a relationship with Lois Lane. That puts us in a very specific moment in Superman's timeline. Not at the beginning, but still early. He's out there saving people, but he's still figuring things out. He's still trying to reconcile two identities, Kryptonian and human. And he's still defining what kind of hero he's going to be.
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of the United States.
I wasn't representing anybody except for me and doing good.
Sound familiar? When Smallville ended after 10 seasons, Clark Kent had finally become Superman. The final scene gave us that long-awaited moment. Clark ripping open his shirt to reveal the S-shield, but it was quick, almost symbolic. The real Superman era hadn't been told yet. That's where Smallville's Season 11 came in. Released as a comic continuation of the show, Season 11 picked up right where the finale left off with Clark, now fully Superman, flying, saving lives, and facing the kinds of challenges only a global hero could handle. But here's the key. Even though he was finally in the suit, he wasn't finished becoming Superman. He was still adjusting to life in the spotlight, navigating a more complex world, and learning what it meant to be a symbol. That's the exact same emotional territory James Gunn's Superman is exploring. According to everything we've heard, this new film drops us right into a version of Clark that's already active but still building his moral foundation, his public persona, and his relationships. Especially with Lois, who in Smallville Season 11 is not just his love interest, she's his anchor. The Smallville comic run also introduced more DC characters, expanded Metropolis into a full-blown superhero hub, and brought in global and intergalactic threats. The world got bigger, the tone matured. Clark grew into the Cape, not overnight, but mission by mission. And that's what Gunn's version seems to echo. It's not the origin of Superman, it's the refinement of Superman. If you ever wondered what Smallville would have looked like had it continued in live action, just maybe, we're about to find out. Because this setup is strikingly similar to Smallville's final moments, and even more so to what came next in the Smallville Season 11 comic series. That version of Clark had just taken his first steps into the Cape, already had years of heroic experience under his belt, and was now navigating the world's expectations as Superman for the first time. Even Gunn himself has said this film is about hope, heritage, and balancing both sides of Clark Kent's identity, which, again, is exactly what Smallville spent a decade building toward.
He's just a dog.
I don't know what dog you're talking about. Ugly dog in a cape.
What did you say?
And it's not just Clark's arc that aligns. Lex Luthor is already active in this new DC universe. He has a long-standing grudge against Superman. And here's the kicker. His company isn't called LexCorp. It's Luthor Corp, just like it was in Smallville. That's not just a branding decision. That's a legacy connection. It's a subtle signal that this Lex might share more DNA with Michael Rosenbaum's version than we expected. So, while this Superman isn't a prequel, and it's not retelling Smallville, it is stepping into a very familiar space, a Superman in transition, not becoming the hero, but learning how to carry the weight of being one. And that's where the comparisons really start to get interesting. Both versions focus on a Superman who isn't brand new, but isn't fully formed either. He's out in the world, saving lives, but still figuring out what it really means to be Earth's greatest protector. He has the powers, the press attention, the cape, but he's still defining what kind of symbol he wants to be. Clark's internal struggle is front and center in both stories. In Smallville, it was a constant push and pull between his Kryptonian destiny and his Kansas upbringing. In Gunn's Superman, that theme is back. Clark trying to live between two worlds, with the weight of both. Even the tone seems to match. Smallville thrived on emotional arcs, moral dilemmas, and human-scale stories set against a cosmic backdrop. Gunn's film, from what we've seen, looks like it's taking a similar approach. It's not about punching meteors. It's about identity, legacy, and hope. Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum have publicly confirmed that they pitched an animated Smallville revival, essentially a Season 11 continuation in animated form. It would pick up right where the show left off, with Clark fully becoming Superman and exploring the wider DC universe. But despite fan interest, there's been no green light, and the timing might not be a coincidence. If Superman is already exploring many of the same story beats, early career Superman, an active but evolving Clark, a Lex Luthor with personal history, and a grounded Metropolis setting, it's possible DC Studios is holding off to avoid internal overlap. From a branding perspective, launching two young Superman stories at once, especially with similar emotional tones, might muddy the waters. Gunn's Superman is the flagship of a brand new DC universe. That means every spotlight, every story, and every Superman has to serve that vision first. So while the Smallville animated revival isn't dead, it's probably on pause for now because Superman might already be telling the story fans have been asking for. For 10 seasons, Smallville redefined what a superhero origin story could be. It told Clark Kent's journey slowly, emotionally, and with care, long before he ever wore the cape. It built a mythology, introduced key DC characters, and laid the groundwork for everything from the Arrowverse to today's cinematic storytelling. Now, this Superman seems ready to pick up that torch. Do you see the connection? Let us know in the comments. And if you're as excited for Superman as we are, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more on Smallville. Thanks for watching.